Hello, and welcome back to Sinister Stories. Today, we're going to be going over the tale of La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman. La Llorona is one of Mexico's most famous tales, a story of tragedy and sorrow turned into wickedness, regret, and vengeance. With a recent movie, which in my opinion does not do the story justice, people who aren't from Mexican or Latin origins are wondering more than ever, what is the story behind this dark spirit? So join me as we dive headfirst into one of evil's many forms. La Llorona tale is said to date back to Aztec times. Stories of weeping women have seemed to have haunted the Latin community for centuries, if not more. The modern story of La Llorona, however, starts in Mexico, with a beautiful woman named Maria. She had many men who tried to win her over for marriage, but none prevailed. That is, until a Spaniard man showed up at the village. The man was very wealthy and very charismatic. He met Maria shortly after arriving, and they quickly fell in love. Maria and the man eventually had 2 children, and life seemed to be going well. Being from out of the village, however, the man would often work in different towns, and eventually started spending less and less time at home. Maria would dread the time he spent away from the family, and would wait patiently for him to come home. As time went on, the man would spend more and more time away, and whenever he did come to visit, he would only pay attention to his 2 children, and not Maria. Maria noticed something was off about the man, but there was not much she could do. One day, as Maria walked into town, she saw her husband sitting at a cantina, or a bar. With the man was another woman. Maria watched, trying to see if she could recognize the woman he was with, when all of a sudden, her husband kissed her. Maria grew furious. She ran home in a fit of rage and started throwing things around the house. She did not know how he could do such a thing, and wanted revenge. Leaving him wouldn't do anything, since he already had a mistress. He was handsome, charming, and rich, she thought. There isn't much I can do to hurt him. That's when the thought hit her. There was nothing this man loved more than his children. This sick idea swirled in her head, and out of pure hatred for the man, she lured the children to a nearby lake, where she drowned them, one by one. The woman sat there, with the bodies of her dead children floating in the water, and realized what she had done. She cried and begged God to give her back her children, but God did not respond. The woman could not take the guilt of what she had done, and drowned herself as well. Some say that her spirit went up to the gates of heaven, but was denied entry, and instead was cursed to roam the land of the spirit until she can find her dead children. Now La Llorona is said to appear near bodies of water, and tends to float across them as well. She is often heard crying and screaming mis hijos, or my children, as she roams the land. In several versions of the story, she is said to kidnap or kill children in order to make them her own. The woman is said to always be wearing white. In some versions, she's even soaking wet, with makeup running down her face. Some say that once you hear the crying, there's no escape, and you're being hunted. Others say that if you do hear the crying, you do have a chance to get away, as long as she's not too close. Once La Llorona attacks your family or goes after your children, there are very few things you can do, but that doesn't mean that you're doomed. Some people go to curanderos, or witch doctors, which can help them ward away the evil spirit with certain trance and rituals. According to the online community, however, the best thing to do is to go to a religious authority or a church. With enough prayer, and enough people around you which can also pray, the evil spirit can be warded away and can stay away forever. While the spirit of La Llorona was human before, the darkness and wickedness of her actions have transformed her into something more sinister. And while many say that this is just an urban legend, the sightings of all the people in Mexico and other places around Latin America might prove that maybe, just maybe, there is something lurking in these lands. This has been Sinister Stories. Thank you for joining me. If you guys haven't followed the channel already, be sure to do so you won't miss any of my future videos just like this one. Also, be sure to like and comment something if you want a certain topic covered, and I'll be sure to get on that right away. Until next time, guys, have a good one, and stay safe out there.